African Cup of Nations. Against me, the man national team head coach, John Kista. Now this is the follow talk about preparation of the country's national team, Leone Stars. John, welcome to the show of this day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. First, let's start look at preparation of the team. I know there are a lot of trainings currently, and you don't call about 30 home-based players. Then currently they're on training at the country's capital city. Generally, what are your assessments with training so far?
Not bad. We don't assemble a group of players from the local base where, we hope they can come in and then go do well for us around. We'll monitor the preparations with Suicide and Day, and then eventually we're going to make a decision going forward where we decide for Mekwichi for play Guinea-Bissau, inside Bissau. So as of now, bear in mind the league done 3 to 4 weeks ago. So it's like I have to start all over again, for begin with conditioning preparations. But as of, this week, we don't do quite a bit, and I'm happy with the level of commitments we did from the boys.
I think you talk about commitments. That's a very serious thing. Even football fans in the country, they talk about the commitment of players, more especially local and home-based players, in terms of deliver, more especially when they get the opportunity for playing at the national team. But generally, what's going to be your assessment? I understand you still struggle to get foreign-based players for joining the team. Whether it's challenges on the part of let them get playing time internationally in the various clubs, them or not. But what's not the challenge where you face currently? And as you get huge number of home-based players, is this a way of giving opportunity to home-based players, or is a challenge that you can see the quality of foreign-based player for join?
I think it's normal challenge. That's been done there for a long time. And because of that, that's why we feel to say it was appropriate that we bring a group of home-based players and all work with them. If you go back to the last game against Nigeria, we had about 6 local-based players. And we know, Remy, with football, it's a process. We're still going through the processes for trying to get a good group together. But when they try to develop one side, another side back, there are challenges. They try to develop one side, another side has challenges. I think the ideal situation for us would have been the foreign-based players they will get, go they camp for camp, really improve the local-based players. But again, there's a big challenge around the foreign-based players in regards to the playing time. Would I still they try to get fixed up with the club? It's very, very difficult. And I don't think sometimes people understand that. But sometimes when you come go through the difficulties and the challenges, people feel to say that excuses you want to make. And there's no excuses. This is the reality on the ground. Where they struggle with regards to players, whether it be outside now, inside now, we want to build a group again. And we're really trying to build a group. And I think we're getting there slowly. But everybody, if you say for happy one time, you're not going happy one time. It will take time. And hopefully people will start to understand the challenges the way they, around what they try to do. And understand, say, it needs time.
At your initial, time when you officially get a job for coaching national team, you vision probably, or maybe you part in a transition wherein, while the old players in the fade out, you get a replacement for them. But we seem I don't want to say they see that, but there are still challenges wherein the process still slow.
Well, when you're going through transition or anything, it takes time because there are a lot of challenges ahead where we get for look at. And we get for try to make sure, say, those challenges will they minimize and forget to what I want, When I remember when I take over again, my mandate for takeover was to qualify for the Nations Cup. And we qualified for the Nations Cup, And the other one was, I want to transition the national team. From the experienced players that we've been on the way they go out, we wanted a new group. But this thing, why they try to do so now, Remy, if we don't done in the last 10 years, we don't begin doing. Because we get for realize, say, them older experienced players, they get for go. Which one are the group where they can't take them over? It's like in any walk of life, you know, you they develop, Say tomorrow, we John come or this and go come, we this come and go come. But nobody no do it. Now they do so now. They take time. But in between this, I get caught up in the in between results and trying for transition. So people then don't want to look at say, hey, well, hang on a minute. This job what did you do so for don't do now they can do it. Let's give them time, let's see who side where they go after this. But everybody expects results 21. It not they happen so. It will take time. Again, if you look at what they try for, we are dependent again on the boys that were on the outside. But again, there's challenge on the outside because we know they're not active. They're not active. They're trying to get themselves fixed up. So again, how long before we remember say, okay, well, this they play, or we want to see a scenario where players know they play, we want to bring a camp player. Well, I don't think that's how it should be. So now make sure I bring a lot of local-based players in again because now they see week in, week out. Let's try and build from home. If we are now not get, but we have a formidable force now we will work with. We go up with for growth slowly, with including one or two of them that will not say active they do well now. We'll bring them can for help these boys.
Yes, I still want to follow you on the area of transition, and you spoke about the challenges within this process, more especially when while you do transition, you get the people very excited, they want results. People even care whether you're doing a process or not. But for every game where Salone play, the expectations of Salonians is quite very high. It's winning regardless the process, but it's winning. But how challenging it look like? More especially, I know your vision for Sale Best, we can get that kind formidable home-based team. We always stand by in a situation we know we forget the foreign-based players for camp and they're able for fitting. But what's not the process in getting the players they're always ready in terms of in a situation like this?
I think we get two what's called approach. We're looking at the foreign-based players, and the foreign-based players again. If you look at the levels, it's very difficult for monitor. I can only monitor minutes. I'm not able to monitor performances. With the local-based players, at the monitor minutes, with the monitor performances. So this is another challenge. So sometimes we want to bring players more because they play outside with the performance, and we say, hey, well, this player B play 70 minutes. Well, that's 70 minutes the way he play, Remy. We don't know whether it's a 70 minutes that is productive or not productive. So how do we assess that? Compared to when are they home, are they monitor the boys in there? From every matches they play, everything, compared to those ones that we come.
But that's not a responsibility of John Kista.
It is a responsibility of John Kista. But John Kista, I can only monitor overseas players based on minutes. But I cannot monitor them based on performance because of the levels they're playing.
But you don't have access them probably with videos evidence. Sometimes it's
well, video evidence, yes, you get video evidences. But how long can we be dependent on video evidences? Now every day you play this game, again, you go play one game today, you will not play many games tomorrow. How do you compare video evidence to that? Why is the boys at home? I'll monitor them, we're monitoring them week after week, games after games. It just sounds like, for example, if you had I keep saying, if you had a group like Nigeria players, you they monitor performances already, because when you put television on, you see you see Napoli they play, they monitor Osimhen. You say they will assess the performance. Are they able to monitor Iwobi? Are they see the performance? Are they able to monitor Ndidi? Are they see the performance? Are they monitor the all? Because I see the performance, but that's the difficulty because our players and the levels that we're in there is very difficult. So this is the where we're caught up in between, how we go get it right and when we go. It's very difficult.
Is that a challenge, or it's something that it takes a very tough decision, for make say, okay, let's see and in this qualification, let's test all your home-based players, because we get access for see them. We are in with get challenge for even see the foreign-based players.
Well, we have to make a decision as a country. I'd always talk, everything comes back to myself as head coach, which I always take responsibility for. I have never shied away from it. But we have to be reasonable as a nation as well. We all want to do well. But expectations level we have to look at it from the perspective of what you will get now and what you will go through in terms of the processes for arrive at what you will give you the success. If we want for Russia now, we will not get it, and then what happens? We'll keep changing, and 10 years down the road, we'll get back to the same thing. How do we fix it? It's about processes. Nothing will be happy overnight. We have to trust and we have to believe in it. But the processes will get you to Osawango. You understand? But if we don't go through the processes, then we're going to struggle. Because would I want to go and bring a foreign-based player that way not active, we know they get minutes? Or do I want to look at the home-based players that way active, when they get minutes, even though they're home-based? But we need to have a base. We base cannot be overseas. We base has to be home. All the national teams there where they do well in Africa, their base is now home. And then they come out. The only way they go play out now, they come back, they'll fit into the jigsaw. Because now they come out and go, then come back, they fit it right. But we they bring. And then this is a national team. Not so like say, I get them players there 1 month before game. And they get them 3-4 days before game. Everybody they come on a different side. And sometimes to get that teamwork, it takes a bit of time. So again, we have to understand that and be realistic and reasonable about it. You know, say, in Sierra Leone, we need time. You understand? We need time because, again, even when we talk about the results, the man will talk, say, well, no excuse about the result there. We not play home for 3 years from where I come in. As in itself is difficult. You know? It's very, very difficult. We home is our advantage. And that would have given us probably, oh, this one might say, well, no, if we win games in our home, we'll go away, say, we'll draw the, I'm not going to say no, so. But we did away all the time in the last 3 years. It's difficult. But for me, I think we've done very well in terms of, we've stabilized the national team. So Mango Gum will say, oh, you lost that. But there were challenges around. But those challenges are normal. But we have to be reasonable and realistic. Around all the set goals and for achieve those goals.
Consistency also a challenge.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I think most Sierra Leoneans can say that in terms of, more especially in selecting players. Like, for example, you know, the performance of the boys team against Nigeria. I remember, I beat Nigeria and, you know, at 4 draw. And most people, they expect, say, forget the same team for come and play games. There are a few changes, we agree, but are we able to forget constantly? We can't get them all the time because probably they are going to be slightly of knock or injury, replacement of that. But are we able to keep, you know, get consistency going on, able for get a better?
I think again, Remy, that onus to go to the players in terms of setting their own standards. It's not just players. Whatever you in life, you set your standards. What you saw? You can never go to 100%. But you set your standard to a level that is acceptable when it comes to performances in your role. Every time. You never come out from 70, 60%, you can't down to 20%. You understand? Even if you go through in a bad time, you go there 70, they count 60, you count 50, you there in between that, but it's a consistency around that. But that's where, again, the players have that onus. And that consistency they come if they're working every day, and playing games. So we have to bring that. And the difficulty around us, 1 minute I will see today, I go play 90 minutes, 4 games, and not play. You understand?
But you still a column.
Because what you again we get. Naimeka say we have to trust we own. We have to trust we own. If we know something like that, they don't make a decision, say, okay, listen, let we find the base in home, let we work with these home-based players and develop them. If this not the work now, but let this work.
But this is a decision for John Kista.
It's not John Kista.
Vision is about getting the home base, or it's a general, you know.
It's not a John Kista decision. It's a Sierra Leone decision because, again, there's a populace out there. You and I know. There's a populace out there.
But think about John Kista.
It is John Kista, but that's what I'm saying. I always work for the best interests of Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans, and I go down to the best of my conscience. When I know say this on the right hander, I make the decisions when I think it's right. But then when it go bad, what's they say? The one that wait for expect say, oh, now this is a situation we will know. We'll say, oh, no, John. But this is what we have in terms of situation, Remy.
It could have been said there's dishonesty within the team of John Kista with regards of making decisions.
There is what is the word? There is honesty around with predicaments around Sierra Leone football and with players. There's an honesty. And once we can able accept that honesty, just say, listen, we need to do more, Naya, for produce more, for let them go out into bigger clubs, better clubs, and better levels, and come back for, let's Sierra Leone begin grow back. Then we're going to fail all the time. Because in the last how many years, Remy, you don't deny, how many players don't come out Salone go outside? That's a simple statistics. How many players don't come out from all begin play competitive football, going back to 12, 13, 14, 15 years? How many players they don't come on here, we don't go outside to better clubs? How many? You cannot count 1 or 2. Is that good? It's not good. So it tells you we need to do more work. We're not going to go take players outside for the Canada. We're not blessed as a country like Nigeria, where they're over how many million, they're big country. So any side where you go see Nigerian background, Nigerian player, Nigeria. But we are not blessed as a country like that. So we just therefore make sure, say, we manage what we get at home, work around them, and also organize it well. And then we get a production line of players in. If that means to say, okay, for a minute, let me go back to youth development. Because that's the only way we're going to grow. Because the players that have done well, they're going.
Yeah.
If we don't get production line, what's in the happen? We just struggle, and that didn't happen in Sri Lankan football in the last 14, 15 years. There's no production line.
But in term, on that, the recommendation is also very key, which I believe your voice always heard, you know, because of your experience in coaching, playing football, that we recommend, let we get the boys in now. Let me train them from this age. Why would the process they go in?
I think that's where we're going now. Because if you see the SLF don't come out say they make it the pitches and they can also, that is a massive plus when them pitches and they come. Then when the pitches don't come, then are the first thing in infrastructure. Then we go now to the development of the youth. Because we can still go say, look, we'll bring you football, place only for player. How are the developer? So these are the areas that we go for look at. We get for prioritize. Remy. For now we go forward, we have to prioritize. Small prioritize, and then we can get forward. And this is a difficulty. Yes. Until we go back to youth football, 14, 15, 16, we begin develop there. They begin go. The more we get to go outside, begin playing at bigger clubs and overseas, and the one that they develop now, where they get a good group together. But that gap there is too long, too big a gap.
And that speaks about coordination, you know, within the technical team. But how coordination on the work? I know it's idea that we put ideas together that say,
responsible for the development of the senior national team.
Yeah.
Everybody else getting roles in this responsibility. I think now there's a youth coordinator when I'm coming.
Yeah.
He's doing really well for affect the youth side of the football, which is what we need. You understand? And if that goes on, I am sure if we give ourselves time in the next 1, 2, 3 years, we will produce more. We will come in for begin help. Say whenever they come on now, we don't begin this so, then we'll come in. But if we're not doing Remy, we're going to struggle, and this is no rocket science.
Salone played with last game into the qualification on the 11th of September against Guinea-Bissau, in Guinea-Bissau. There's any possibility of getting foreign-based player for joining the home base, or it's a decision now you want for mix? Okay, let's go ahead with the home-based boys.
Well, we'll see. Sometimes we're going to need 1 or 2 for the local players, position-wise as well. We will need that. But we'll see what's in the ground in the next week or 2, and we'll make decision around that. But it's important that we do things properly. You know, it's important that we do things properly. And we will look at that. We see the one that where they do well. We go hopefully, you know, and bring them coming. But we want to make sure, say, you know, again, opportunities are given, Remy. Players have to take the opportunities. You understand? Not all the time, oh, bring this car in opportunity. No, but what happens? Opportunity, when they give the opportunity, take them. But I don't feel we take opportunities sometimes because I don't know. So that's another area that we have to look at. It's the mentality side of our boys in regards to their own development and their own progression as well.
Is John Kista, head coach of the national team, can be under pressure, more especially in the matches of Sierra Leone, when you select players for either camp play or 11 players for playing at the pitch, you know, getting the team for play. You can be under pressure in sometimes.
Remy, in whatever work or life you do, you put yourself under pressure because you want to achieve.
In a way where somebody goes, no, but we'll not get this player involved.
I don't think I'm one of those people who personally tell, you know, I'm not saying I don't work with my technical team. We work together. You know, we make decisions together. So if anybody say to you out away from my technical team, I mean, one game they do this and one game, I think they have to, then they're not honest to Sierra Leone. I have a technical team. You know, they call the game so now they put the players in together. We look at the players, we look at it, we bring them come together, we do training together, we go together as a team, even though I'm the head coach, but we work as a team because it's important to work as a team, you know, and we do everything together. So if anybody don't say, well, no, they say because that's stubborn, Kista not they listen. I don't understand why I have to be stubborn not they listen way many people in the work. You understand? Now we they pick the players, now we they pick the team. You understand? It's about responsibilities. I take responsibility when it goes wrong. I think we all have to take responsibility too. We owe one to the Sierra Leone people then, if it goes wrong. And they've entrusted us in this job. So if it goes wrong, no one can say, yes, now we pick the team, you know, perform. So we'll go back again. Because, you know, they happen overnight. But again, those little areas, I put myself under pressure, you know, as an individual, as I've always done, because I want to achieve for the people there. You know, I want to do my best. So that's the pressure normally they're under.
I know, you know, and you know, there are a lot of issues with regards to the team, and now we're going to the last game, and also there are controversy with regards of you continuation to the national team. But we'll see.
There's no controversies around that.
But the SLFA give you a match, you know, ahead after you term done as head coach of Leone Stars on the 31st of August. Is John Kista consider of, you know, if SLFA offer, you know, the opportunity again for say, okay, John, you are in charge again. Is John Kista willing to take up the job?
Listen, Remy, it's the biggest honor to head Leone Stars, Australian national A team. It's the biggest honor you can ever have. You understand? I have got my agreement undone. If they say tomorrow come out, I'll still then at Salone and help. Also, I need for help for making them my own little contributions what I will always make. If I'm going to go away, depending on how I get work, whatever happens, happens. If they come back and say, John can't carry on, I am more than 2,000% happy for can carry on. Whichever way. It doesn't necessarily mean to say, pass a be head coach of Salone national team before I make my own contributions in a positive way. Now this I want people to understand. It's a job. Today I go in at the job, tomorrow I go in out of the job. But what is important that I am always there if called upon for support wherever I can. With my own experience, I'll gladly do that. But I don't want that. That's not an issue about my contract or my contract. My contract is let there be growth. If there's growth, everything else will fall into place. What is so? All this thing what they talk about so. If we do everything is right, we not go right. But when they get results, we're doing well. All this Allah no go can. But when things are not panning out, there's challenges, then we bring all this. But sometimes it's good that we recognize the challenges as a country, and then all come together and say, yes, now all go one way. Now this now situation, all will work towards that. And we'll achieve together. Eh?
You still get a vision of the transition process in getting the right players for the country national team. I know, you know, that kind, like if somebody says stubborn, it means you're stubborn for the good. And that is part of your process, you know, like you mentioned, the process in arriving at a place wherein you have a place the country national team for the always up there, wherein you still get challenged with regards of getting the players, even the home-based player. We'll have to be honest.
Yes.
You know, and you know, I think, you know, like you even mentioned, and me and somebody really discussed at one time, you know, and say. It's good we call home-based players all the time to the national team, but you spoke about commitment. Whether the home-based players NCSF committed for playing at the national team when they get the opportunity, it's, for me, I think it's still 60% because most of them get the opportunity for play to the national team, but, you know, away from that, still they play leagues away, probably can go and get injured at the end. It's also a challenge, and you see them, we all can enjoy, but there should be a limit. You know, when you get a vision, you have to achieve, but there should be a limit. And the possibility even mentioned about Michael Essen back in the days. So now possibly always did it, and he was focused, know what he want to achieve, and at the end he achieved that. But are we able to forget the area of discipline? Because that's also very important if we're moving into transition process.
Remy, I think the poverty around the environment plays a big part. Let we not shy away from that. When in life, I just mentioned, say, in whatever profession, whatever you do, you set yourself standards. And those standards, you keep to your standards. And that's what brings the discipline in. You understand? For me, I tell you, say, me coaching, they stop. I know they go beyond it, I know they go down under. These are standards you set in your life. Like, okay, I go work Monday to Friday at 7 o'clock in the morning. These are boundaries you set. You set there's structures and there's boundaries you work within for achieve what you will achieve. And sometimes for we as a nation, I think we fall short of those structures and boundaries. And those are the structures and boundaries that where we get for work around for set the standards and we're going to get you to the level there we're going to make we all achieve. And that's what I'm saying. If me don't play Premier League, na Salone, and I have to go and play one of those. I know they say they're bad leagues. I'm just saying, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Why can I not let the other young bobo go showcase your ability there? We get more and more players than they can through. But again, it goes back to what I said. We all come differently. Environment is difficult. So sometimes you want to say no, but then if you look at the other side, the predicament they make, then do the things that they don't want to do. So how do we balance that? It's another question. Or it's another area for look at. How do we balance that? You know, it's difficult. It's difficult, but we just have to keep persevering.
Yes, and that's very important, more especially for the boys. But even as a country as a whole. But also, and I know generally as a challenge into the team with regards of getting the right players. Currently, we saw a problem. I know it's about with scoring ability. We still struggle for.
Well, I think we've scored more goals since I don't become head coach than we've ever done. I think we've scored more goals. I think, yes, we've conceded goals again. But if I tell you we don't score more goals and conceded goals, then it tells you already we will get problems.
Yeah.
So defensively, we're struggling when it comes to centre-backs. You know, you look at most of the games that we've played, we've caused our own mistakes then, and mistake because of the inexperience around the transition. You understand? But we're very short when it comes to centre-backs. We're a very small team as well as a country. You know, look at the two young boys that already play in midfield, very small boys. Look at the one that already play for the other. That alone plays, the physical side of the football plays a big part as well.
Yeah.
But we're struggling around centre-backs. You know, when we talk about identification, in America, you talk about the youth system, we forget. Centre-backs again nowadays, they're going to be 6'6", 6'6". Same as central midfield players have to be, same as centre forwards. But we are a very, very small nation.
Yeah.
And look at we. All these are things that we people they look at and say, no, but because now most games they are won from set pieces, set plays, corner kick, free kicks, and we're a small team. So these are all areas we have to identify. These are all the challenges that we're there. For the Leone Stars get better and go to that level where the expectations they go, we get for make sure say, oh, this work could do and follow will get there. And it doesn't take, it not happen overnight. Everything about what we do around development is a process. Let me patient, let me work through them, and we will get them right.
The last game, you know, most people will say, well, now follow we honor the fixture, and as a country, is that a way of giving opportunity to, well, probably players and we never get the opportunity for playing the national team, for let themselves showcase, and probably things can turn.
Well, I don't want us to look at that, look at it that way. If they're still not to just forget any opportunity, it's look at the right one that we can for do a job, because we still want to go on and get results.
Yeah.
We're not just going to go there and die there because no. I don't think that's what we're going for. We're still going to go there to try and have a good performance and try and have a good result. So whoever they can sign, an opportunity for ourselves for progressing to the national team. So that's how we look at it. We're not to say because now we'll bring this kind of record. No, we're not to do that. I think we want to make it right. We have pride, and that's something in life I always believe in. There's pride about everything you do, and I take pride in what I do, and we all take pride in what we do, and that's what I try to bring into players about pride. You know, hopefully
is that working?
I think it is working because you know we're fighting now more. You know, Nigeria game, if you look at that in Liberia, we lost them because they made mistakes, but we're fighting more because we come back now. First time, people then go say Leone Stars now 60 minutes, all man on tire. We don't go past that stage there. First time, people then say, oh, Leone Stars, we not get midfield, but I think we're going past that stage now. First time, Leone Stars, one say, oh, they one goal no more, they score. We don't go past that stage now because we're scoring goals. Yeah. So there is a lot more development and improvement in this national team than people then give credit for because we lost 1 or 2 games on a bad day. We be say, it happens in football. You understand? We're not we're not Sierra Leone. What you get to now, we go for try for put together for make the best out of her. We're not able, we know to even Chelsea the way man will say, oh Chelsea. They don't go sign player, they come back. How much money? But they still not begin get results yet. Yeah. So it'll take time again. Liverpool won the league. Players they don't left and they don't go. What thing they do back? Then they rebuild again. You understand? So sometimes people say, oh, now how many games you win? It's not about how many games you win. It's not what you win. You understand?
Yeah.
It's what you win. Italy had Mancini. He went for 30 odd games. Nobody beat him. The one game win for they qualify for the World Cup. They beat him. They qualify for World Cup. No, it's not about how much game you win. It's about what have you got, what you achieve.
But the small mistakes that we will still make is also a challenge. Like even the game against Nigeria, we get a very great opportunity for upsets. Like we didn't get it right.
That's the experience. That's the finish article. We will still not get, we will still defend. You understand? And it will happen. We will keep doing this till we get it right. You understand? And that's development. That's development. Along the way there will be mistakes. And hopefully, behavior tell you say, if you make one mistake all the time, then they say, no, make this mistake. You keep making, and then you know they learn. But if you make one mistake, they say, no, you go over the back, you make different mistakes, and you know they make the same mistake, then you're learning. So hopefully, them mistakes they make is what's going to get us better when these players are more and more experienced now.
The issue is that we get challenged with regards of determination from the players. Because I remember Nigeria, after we lost the first game inside Nigeria, and I listened to you and Steve Coker, when you advise the player, guys, let's go in with second game from Nigeria, and I'll be supposed to come back to Guinea-Bissau. Yes, inside Guinea, and say, let's go and get the result. And that kind of speed, I'll be very delighted.
Yeah.
And I see the boys, them also, let's go and get a result. But,
yes.
But at the end, we get a result, but it was 1 point, but it was good that we get the result, that determination. But, we can get the determination in a particular match. Let's say for this game, we get a result. But the next game, the determination lacking as well.
I think what you get for understand of football, the approach is always the same. The same mindset, same determination. But it's about performances on the day on the pitch as well. Now that you get for understand. We had a very good, strong mentality going into Conakry against Guinea-Bissau. Then what's happened there? A mistake the back. The rain come. What's happened? Somebody for them make a decision, wrong decision, and go score away. We had a penalty, we miss her. So again, these are just mistakes that we don't cost in everything that we've done. We got into Sao Tome game. Look at it. We had about 7 chances we never score, but the second game we had 2 score. So we have to be very. This is a learning pathway. Remember, say when a coach along my way, I'm learning because I'm going to make mistakes. I learn from it. I make mistakes until you start learning from those mistakes and become a better individual. So these are all processes. There's nothing like a finished article. The one when at Chelsea, we spend all the money, can go and buy player, quality bring and can, they still make mistakes. So these are the top level professionals here. What about these boys now? They try to get to a level, for Usai on-man the expectation there. So we're gonna get those things. But it will come at some point. You will see it will get lesser and lesser, and we start dealing with it better, and the players then will start dealing with it better in regards to those mistakes.
I know there's this call, sometimes backed by Salonians, saying that if the transition process seems to be very slow, why not getting the old guys again? Bringing them on board, and able to beef them up with the old guys.
Where are the old guys? Where they? Where the old guys then? Apart from one that is there is active, but obviously decided to retire. I don't think everyone else is active as much as we're saying. You understand? So, but this is the plan we get. What if those older guys now belong to a point where they have to leave, and now we're not being prepared for this? What would have been the consequences? So now this, but it's a bitter pill to swallow, where you go through change. Any side where you go through change is very difficult. But we just have to be strong and be honest about how would they affect the change, and that's what you have to try to do.
Yes. But generally, how we move forward into this, and with regards to the process, I know you believe in that, and your vision is about transforming the Leone Stars, the team, for be a better team. We are in. If we struggle a particular game, we forget a left back, we forget 5, 6 of them. No matter what, if this player not there, it gets a better replacement.
That's it.
As well.
Yes.
But we'll still get challenged.
We have, because now we find ourselves. Now we could make most of out of what you get. You understand? So we're identifying, we're trying to develop. It's like I said to you, hopefully by the time when them pitches here begin come, we start for identify and begin develop these young boys, and then we go get options there as well. But at this moment in time, there are certain areas where our options are very, very, very small. You understand? So again, it's a Sierra Leone problem. Never mind saying the coach now, but it's a Sierra Leone problem. I'm not for in that situation where if Steve is not there, I'm not going to centre back. If this is not there, I'm not going to centre back. I'm not for that. Learning your own personal development is continuous as well. So sometimes we'll get the pitches then. Like God make Babadi don't get one stadium, we get one here, we get one here, there, we get more and more and more. You go see it will change. Because then now the youth development side will come, more games are playing, we identify the young players in, we introduce them to the junior categories on the 17, on the 20, and that's how the development process could begin.
You know, selecting, how challenging it be for select, home-based player? When, I'm going to be very honest, we still have challenge in the league. With like you mentioned, structure-wise, like challenge because we still not get the pitches them. For player, how many good pitches that we get in the country, we're very standard. And if you talk to most players, they would say, performance bad because of we not get the quality of feel we need for play. And that is psychologically also they affect the players them when they go out. If for instance, if I don't use for playing a KT field or police field, we're not to standard, then select me for campaign Leone. So because of my performance, outstanding, and I want to go playing at the artificial turf. It's also a challenge because the control and all of that is a challenge.
Well,
but how difficult
it's good. It's good that they bring up all these challenges. But if I sit down and say the challenges, people will be going to say, an excuse, not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's the reality. It's the reality. We play game in our approved school. We play game in a parade. You understand? Then simply at the end of the day, they come back for Congo play now a decent pitch. How do you think that works for them? When you play on a decent pitch, Remy, the first thing is that pitch becomes very quick in terms of your play. When you play in a parade, what do? Instead of control, there's no control. What do you do? Now kick number, you go to kick. Because that's what the condition calls for. So how long it gets now for pulling players and they come up from this to bring them kind of that level? You understand what we say when they kind of national team, now 1 or 2 weeks I can bring them come, you understand? How you go change and one thing. But when the pitches they come, you understand? We're not playing a parade, we're not playing a approved school, we're not playing a Atsuga. Everybody they playing a decent pitch now. Then we go start for do things there and see how these players then they develop. Because it will be easier that day. Because the surface is good, the way they want to play is good. And for control, you know because you say well, they feel bad and they will controller. So all those development processes and the temperament it will be different. So we just keep on pressing the pitches that will begin come, and once we don't get them, and then we will start the development process. But we have to think about, not to think about it. We have to know scenario we go forward. We go for beginning for go forward again.
Okay, so but as we try for round up, John, and generally, what's assurance you have for Sierra Leoneans?
I've always given, say we will go and represent Sierra Leone 110%. You know, whatever happens on the day, it's just football. But we're not going to go no more, we'll go sit down there, then can, you know what I'm, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do justice to ourselves, we're not going to do justice to the people of Sierra Leone. And I think in all my games that I don't play, you know, you go see there's always a spirit there. Minus the one that we lost. There were difficult, there were challenges around that. I'm not going to go into that. But the competitive matches that we don't play, you go see there's always been a spirit, because the friendly matches we always introducing players and they introduce players and they introduce players and they. But the competitive matches that we don't play, if you see how many we all man say, oh, you know they win game, you know they win game, but you're not losing games. So you stabilize things then compared to Utsu get, Usa there, Usa Wari. So we're stabilizing now. Out of 12 competitive games that I don't play, as coach, I don't lost only 3. And the 2 I lost on Nigeria, and 1 at AFCON. So all the other games that you go say, oh, you know win one, but they're not between. Compare, remember, say no more, all the games in Oma where they play. If now Oma been they play, then you go understand. But when you go back to statistics, you look at Salone, before I can take over, the last 6 games when they play at home, they win all. The last 6 games when they play away, they lost all. So it tell you say home playing at home, it's a big advantage. So again, all these little things, if we're able to get them together, then we'll go progress. Even though we're making progress now, and it's slow. People think it's slow, but they have to be patient. People have to be patient.
The performance that the AFCON, was appreciated by Salonians, but are you for evaluate that performance to AFCON and coming back home, with the process now, and we're not before makeup going to AFCON again,
Well, we have to be reasonable about it. I think we this qualifier, honest to God, honestly.
By who?
There was just mistakes on the pitch. Now it cost to it. Because Guinea-Bissau and Guinea, mistakes again. We had a penalty we missed. We had Sao Tome, the first game, we missed almost 7 chances. If we win, it gives us 9 points.
Yeah.
Coming to Nigeria, it would have been a very, very difficult game for Nigeria. But again, these are all mistakes that will make Nigeria away. The mistakes back. You understand? Because we first scored it back.
Yeah.
But that's the process that we're going through, where mistakes will happen eventually, with experience. All these mistakes then it got cut off. But we need more in terms of the personnel. We need more. And no sound no day we go for go take. We just go for development as a Leone. You understand? AFCON is AFCON. AFCON is gone. Performance in AFCON, this is different. It's different eras now. AFCON was it, and we're going into transition. So during that period, there are challenges, but we have to push through those challenges.
I know you get a chance now because the league done and Boeing just win the league, and now you get the boys team at your control. Like back then, the league be the gone, but we get other matches then. But getting them players and they also is a challenge because of mindset. But now it's a fix that we're going for a match in the AFCON and all of that. But how you don't assess the players with regards to that in moving towards the last game into the game?
It's okay, because the league don't know about 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And obviously I can't say come back. So I'm working on a lot more now. Yes. Those boys are working, in the qualifiers. But again, the one that we're there away from now, they will do some work with them. These FC Carbon boys don't join this morning. Boring just didn't get a game, on Sunday. Yeah. Hopefully those boys will come back Monday, Tuesday, they will join me. And then we'll prepare again and try and build a group. These boys don't get opportunity. They have to take the opportunity, Remy. They have to take her. When they give them the stage, yes, and they have to grasp the opportunity. Because if you don't know, somebody else will come. So that's the reality. This is not a sorry business. It's a reality. So we look through, we're going through training, and we make sure we try and get it right going into this last game.
Okay, you have to talk to Salonians and in building confidence in you.
Well, we as a nation, we just need to be patient around the transition of our football. We all try to do our best, and we only two little ways. But again, sometimes it takes a little bit more time because there are a few more hurdles that we'll need for go through, for how we get to the level we want to go. I know Sierra Leone is about football, which I know, expectations, but let we simmer down expectation in regards to what we get and how they try to get them forward. We know they propel everything, we will not get, and then the expectations go high and then they cannot know. Now we all look at and be reasonable about it. That's all I ask. Now look at our players that will get overseas and now we put them together and now we look at the situation around that. And now we see why. Sometimes we will do well now, sometimes we will get hit, sometimes, but eventually we will get there. So again, as I've said, I don't always give 110%. I'm here working for Sierra Leone, and we always want to work for Sierra Leone because they gave me the opportunity to manage the national team and the mandate for qualifier, which we did. So let me be patient. Whether it's me, whether it's anybody else, we have to be patient and let me rebuild.
John, thank you very much for being part of the show. Well, John Kista, now the head coach of the country's man national team, Leone Stars. We don't talk about preparation, issues surrounding the team and structure, transition, and and generally whether if you want to continue the job as the national head coach, as well as show Salonians of continuous and plead to Salonians of the process and get things done, for the betterment of the country's national team, Leone Stars. John, thank you very much for being part of the show.
Thank you, Remy.
Yes.
Again.
All right, you're always welcome. So now we're in the sense of fair show this day and till Monday for another fresh edition of This Day. My name is David M. Wills. Many thanks to the production and technical team. Till then, do have a lovely day and bye for now.